And we got John Carlson in the back. He's up next, but he is providing the side commentary for this one.
Much needed.
Not really.
Much needed.
Yeah.
We like improv around here. That's how we do things.
For sure.
Very much so, yes. Yes.
That's how you guys got our first marketing intern, right? A lot of improv.
Oh, it was all improv. Shoot from the hip, see what hits.
Teaching these kids left and right?
We got a new marketing person, too, now.
Well, yeah, we need to go over that. Well, that's in the works, but,
right.
Definitely got Taylor Price on the producing for this. He's branding everything. You see how we have red and blue headphones? It matches our logo. He just did that today. We
do need navy blue, though. Get your colors right.
He's matching the logo you have on currently, so.
Yeah, because we have like navy blue and stuff.
We got navy, we got light blue. We probably need to do some rebranding, to be honest.
Do some pink.
Get out of here.
Pink and black.
Pink and black. What team has that?
Pink Tigers. Ever heard of that?
The Pink Tigers, is that going to be our team name? We were trying to figure out a team. Parents were asking about team names this fall.
It already is. CA Storm.
We did say Storm, but I mean, it's pretty sick. I mean,
it's pretty cool.
Pretty sweet.
And guess who made that up?
That's you.
Yeah.
That's all you, Kricky.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at the radar, it's a bad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And black. Don't forget about that.
Pink and black.
Because you got to show you're sensitive and you mean business.
Which one's the sensitive and which one's the business? Actually, that's a pretty dumb question because we kind of know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you what, the black is definitely not the sensitive part.
Goodness. Okay. We're gonna start off the questions here with Kricky here. So Kricky, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background as a baseball player, like youth-wise, like how you grew up, where you grew up, like where you played, and then into high school, and we can go on from that. But
yeah. So hello everybody. Sam Krick here. Call me Kricky. Call me Jim. Call me whatever you want. I started playing baseball at about how old was I? I was about 7 or 8, if I can remember that far back. I played soccer first.
You didn't play like T-ball at 4 or 5?
No.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, I didn't play in T-ball. I was playing soccer. And actually, my dad was against T-ball.
Was he?
Mm-hmm. He wanted me to
just start playing.
He thought that I would lose love for the game by playing T-ball.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Something to talk about there.
And I got pretty good at soccer, and I loved it. And when I was old enough to play baseball, my dad said, all right, you got 2 choices. 1, you can continue to play soccer, but you're going to have to move out of the house. 2.
Goodness, wow. Hard-nosed.
2, you can play baseball, and you can stay here. And I chose option number 2.
You didn't want to like pay rent at that point in time. I bet it was cheaper than nowadays.
It was, and but it's just. So I feel like just the ability for me to get resources at that age. I just needed a few more years to figure that out.
100%.
Yeah.
You got enough years. So tell me about it. 7, 8. Where'd you play baseball growing up?
Elk River.
Okay, that's where you grew up.
That's where I grew up, and I started playing in house and played all the way through high school.
Okay. So you did house until what age, and then you started traveling, correct?
Mm-hmm. I started traveling at 10.
10? Sweet.
I actually got to the state tournament that year. That was the year when we could have Zimmerman kids and Elk River kids on the same team.
Powerhouse.
Yep.
Okay.
So we split them after that year, and then we really were pretty bad after that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So there were some good Zimmerman kids on that team.
There were a few.
Yeah.
They added a lot. Well,
did you guys have only one team at your age group then?
Oh, we had 2.
2.
A and a B team.
Got it.
And the rest who didn't make it got cut.
At that age?
Yeah, I remember when I was 10, we had a lot of kids that tried out.
Really?
A lot of kids. I remember we had some really good players on that team too. For when I was 10, I remember Kyle Connolly. I don't know if you're familiar with his name.
No.
But he was a stud pitcher for Zimmerman. He pitched at Concordia St. Paul. And he was really good, really good. And I played him a few times after we did the split, as we got older, but really good pitcher. There was another one who I play with, and just a handful of others too that that were from Zimmerman.
Gotcha.
That added a lot to that team. But
yeah,
I played then, and played in high school for Elk River as well, and
So at that age, what positions did you play?
growing
Growing up?
growing up,
Yeah.
pretty much everywhere. I was a catcher for like 11 till about 16, actually.
Calm, cool, and collected, right?
Yeah.
That was you.
Huh? I mean, as a catcher, I don't know about definitely not being a hitter.
Yeah. We'll get into that mental game with hitting and everything.
Oh,
But,
I got so mad whenever I'd get out. I don't know why.
man.
Took it personally.
Pushed you to get better.
I
though.
did. Must have.
Yeah.
Knowing the catcher's mentality and knowing that you have catching background makes a lot of sense now.
But then you look at Miles, though. He's not all like that.
Miles is a special breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a stud. There's a lot of good. Get off topic here, but there's. Yeah, we'll get into that more.
Yeah, we'll get into the national team and talk about the players. Like right now, we're interviewing all the trainers and kind of your background and seeing what you bring to the complete athlete team, and obviously your character. So
Try to be.
you don't try. That's the whole point.
I'm trying to be humble.
Oh, okay. You're working on that. That is one of our mission statements.
Dude, it's hard to be humble.
We're getting the 50 Shades of Cricky today.
Oh,
we're getting
man.
humble. I'm excited.
So you went through Elk River, got to high school. You're probably 14, 15 at that point. Played for Elk River High School. Who was your freshman? Well, did you play right up to varsity at that point, or tell us about your high school journey?
8th grade, I played on the 9th grade A team.
Okay.
Tony Sarsland was the 9th grade coach at the time.
Okay.
He was actually our head coach for our hockey varsity team in Elk River.
Okay.
Actually won. He coached Paul Martin.
Oh yeah.
Dan Hineout.
Well, I remember seeing those posters at the high school there, because you guys have a nice arena there, like hockey arena, right?
Yeah, big hockey culture in Elk River.
Yeah.
Huge, actually.
It's actually a cool setup. I've been there.
Yeah.
Big banners of these guys who are
Yeah.
just hanging outside that ring. You got David back.
Spring Lake Park. Yep. David Backus for sure.
I hope you see.
Maybe we'll have to have him on at some point. Spring Lake Park guy. We train a bunch of Spring Lake Park hockey and baseball players. That'd be awesome to have a guy like that on. But anyways,
Yeah.
so he was your coach then, and then 9th grade year. Tell us about your journey going up.
Yeah, so I played 9th grade A when I was in 9th grade, and that year I hit over 500, I think. And the year after that I played varsity, starting as a sophomore, and then finished up after that 2-time all-conference, all that fun stuff. Senior year I ended up hitting, it was like 462 through the regular season, 455 overall. It was like I set the school record for on-base percentage. That hasn't been hit yet, and also hit by pitches.
Dang, they were scared of you.
Oh, they're scared and mad.
Trying to get you off the plate.
Looks like it.
Sounds like it.
Cricky, you never leaned into any of those, did you?
No.
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that lean in last night in the World Series, last inning by the Astros? He's trying to just get something going, and he blatantly leaned into it, and he thought he was sold. He was like taking his elbow pad off and everything, and the umpire was like, "No, you're
Get
right
back
here."
here.
It almost was a strike.
I didn't see that. I was watching other things last night. But
As a former umpire, I watched that too, and I'm like, I've definitely called batters back into the box for that exact reason and called a strike because I saw it was going right down the middle. And this
It's
kid
just blatant. I mean, those types of things, they'll always happen in baseball because a team is trying to do anything to get something going.
yeah, well, when I got beaten by Brent Stahn,
And over product, yeah.
and you gotta be some kind of crazy to try and lean into that fastball.
What was that coming in at?
Oh, those days he was probably a high 80s, low 9s.
Lefty, right?
Oh yeah,
Scary.
yeah, he was nasty. He
Well, it's
also-
coming in right on you as a lefty, then. Lefty to lefty.
oh yeah, and he had a 3/4 arm slot,
Scary.
which and he had a lot of carry on his fastball too, as in he was hitting high 80s, low 9s, and then it looked even faster.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's you told me the pitching in that conference, Northwest Suburban, at that point in time was like the fact that you hit 462 in that conference against those pitchers. Like, let's name off some of those pitchers. You mentioned Brent Stong. Who else did you face?
yeah, Brent Stone, Bradley, Tanner Schumacher, Purdue. Yep, and who's another one?
Logan Shore was a junior.
Oh yeah, he's now in the Tigers organization. I also hit against Austin Malinowski, who got drafted by the Twins in the 15th round. I actually got my first
Centennial guy, right?
first high school hit off of him.
Oh, really?
First game I ever played.
So what? He a senior when you were a sophomore?
Junior.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that was the only hit I got off him.
that's ridiculous.
You want to talk about the nastiest two-seam fastball I've ever seen in my life? Austin Malinowski had that. He was about 93, 96. The two-seam movement probably about like Bizak.
Half the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a slider that was just nasty. It started at my back hip and went to the outside corner at the last second.
Evan Shaw.
Yep.
Going to be having him on here in a few weeks when he comes home, so that'll be awesome to have him on.
Yeah, for sure. And there's plenty of other fantastic pitchers I've faced against too in that conference as well. And I know I think I faced Stone twice my senior year. I'm not sure though, but
Yeah.
either way, yeah, it was.
You hit really well against some really good pitchers, is what I'm kind of getting across.
Yep,
You know?
and that's the difference. And that's the thing too in high school when you got guys who can throw absolute gas. They're gonna give you pitches to hit.
Yeah.
Right? They're gonna, unless they start to know who you are, then they'll start working around you. Working on locating, that's something you really get better at in college.
Yep. They're
And-
just looking to see those pepper throws right away in high school for
Mm-hmm.
recruiting purposes, and then you work on that in college, hone in your game, because you can throw it by pretty much 90% of the kids in high school.
Yeah, if you throw 90, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But
So-
then in college, that all goes away. They're not there. No, they're there because they can hit that stuff.
Yeah. So, played in high school. I don't know if we mentioned you were a Lions All-Star.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then after that, you ended up going to play where again?
I originally committed to Upper Iowa University. Played my freshman year there.
Okay.
So
Yep.
then I transferred to Noka Ramsey, and the rest is history after that, and going to South Dakota State. So
Yeah. So you and we met at AR.
Mhm.
I remember you coming in just ready to get workouts in and
Mhm.
everything. Like
yeah,
you were on a mission.
yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that. You were at Anoka Ramsey, and tell us about that experience, just how that year went, how you kind of, did really well, and then ended up getting that commitment to South Dakota State.
The guy that helped me the most, I would have to say, Matt Oberfell.
Obi. Yeah.
He is he's the biggest difference maker. I mean,
What did he help you out with?
well, my trip to Arkansas, I hit I was 2 for 24.
Oh yeah, that was the first trip of the year in March. Yeah.
Yeah, then I started working with him after that. Thankfully, we got snowed out the next week or a couple weekends after for our next games, and after, when that happened, it was like, you should work with Obi, and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, whatever, and so I go work with Obi, and does a lot of things for me, and then ended up finishing up that year. I think I hit well over 500 the rest of the year. And a lot of that has to do with what Obi worked on me with. So I was going oppo a lot. Left center and I've never done that in my career.
What do you mean after you started working with him?
Yeah, so a lot
So,
of my home runs that year that I hit for AR were left center field, and I've always been a pull hitter.
Yeah.
My whole entire
Got
career.
your open stance.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah, and he taught me how to go oppo.
Sweet.
So it was great, and yeah, so that's it was a fun year that year, and it was a special moment, signing there.
Well, tell us what happened. You obviously did really well, and then what'd you have to do to like, was it just a coach connection, or how did you get connected with South Dakota State, and how did that whole process go?
That was a lot what Bones did.
Ty Yale,
Oh yeah.
Coon Rapids guy.
Yeah, he has a lot of connections to law colleges, and he threw my name out there, and I went to a showcase where SDSU came. It was like a private showcase where they just saw me take BP, and take fly balls, and all that stuff, and play catch with Obi, and they were interested from there, and I had a few other schools contact me too through Bones, Mankato, I believe, or I think that was a Holmgren connection actually. But Cato did reach out to me, Minnesota State, and also NDSU as well. We're talking to them, and yeah, that was just a really special time. And I was, through that time, I was definitely obviously riding high on it, but it was the one thing I never was able to figure out was the mental side of the game. That's the one side that I never took seriously when I was a kid, when I was that age.
In what way? What do you mean?
In all facets. So like, if I didn't do well in baseball, I would take it out on, life in general. I wouldn't want to do homework. I wouldn't want to do anything. I was just feeling sorry for myself, pity party, all that stuff. And, it's good to be competitive, but then there has to come to a point where you have to be mature.
Yeah.
So I guess that fire and desire that I had to get better kind of worked against me.
Yeah.
When I went to South Dakota State, and as I'm working with Milo, seeing him getting 3 Division I schools recruiting him, and going to a Kansas State showcase on November 7th. As he's going through that process, as he goes into college, I can finally tell somebody like, hey, don't make the same mistakes that I made. All right. Like the party lifestyle, like that's none of that. You have the rest of your life to do that. Right. You don't have much time to play baseball at this level.
Yeah.
So make the most of it.
So what you're telling me is like when you finally did go to South Dakota State, like it didn't go nearly as planned as what you wanted it to be?
No, not even remotely close.
And now you're kind of using that experience to impact the athletes at Complete Athlete, teaching them the things that, you went through and don't want them to experience.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. I mean, what else do you say when you got the guy with the highest exit velo on the team that barely ever sees a field? What does that say about our mental state?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it was like 94, 95 off the tee at the time. And at the time, too, I had a torn UCL, and I was using the bat from last year, and I was a little dead. So, I mean, you clocked me about a year ago when I was at full health with that wood bat, and I hit 99 off the tee, right? So
yeah, you're a crazy specimen.
So, that's that. And yeah, it's just all about, when you get to that, when you get to that level, every player needs to understand, and this is what I didn't understand, is that every single player there is pretty much just as good as everybody else. Yeah. It's just a few different things that somebody does better that gets them to get drafted.
What would you say the X factor is for every player, no matter what position it is? We kind of just touched on it, but I just wanted you to reiterate it.
The X factor?
Yeah.
You're talking about position players or pitchers?
I'm not even talking about skills. Like, I'm talking about the mental game, man.
The mental game.
Yeah.
Well, the X factor, I think it's
the mental game, dude.
I know. No.
I just told you what the X factor was.
No, I'm trying to think about what's specifically the mental game. Like what specifically?
Negative, like.
Well, I think your college coach. We were looking.
Oh yeah, we just had that talk like a week or two ago.
And like being able to have that talk. So for the people who are listening in, like we had our 16U national team speak with a college coach. It was Gabe's coach, and just talking about the X factor and mental game. And I think the big thing that resonated with a lot of these kids that we're trying to push through is like control the things you can control, right? If you're having, for example, if you're kind of getting stuffed by the coach, even though you're producing, like, is that something you can control? No, like, you just have to keep keep getting better at your game, and when you do get the chances, make the most of those chances. Like make it hard for him to not write you, pencil you in the lineup type thing, right? But as you talk about, a kid, 16-year-old, all the way up to when you're in college and such an impressionable age and everything like that, like the mental part of it, especially when you feel like you should be getting the playing time that you're not. All right, let's not get too worked up about it. Like control the things you can control.
Yes, sir.
I think too, I feel like a mental game it's going to be, I think it's different based on player to player, but I know at least as far as position players go, I really am starting to like, you want to think positively up there at the plate.
Absolutely.
That's like something that.
What? Yeah. So tell us about your experiences. Like,
well,
sorry.
yeah, no, yeah.
Got it. I was just.
I was gonna say something. That's pretty. I would say have no emotions up there at the plate.
Okay.
Don't feel anything. Be a machine. Right.
Well, how do you get into that state where if a guy just blows a 90-mile-an-hour fastball for you, or even 80 miles an hour fastball by you for the kids that we train, or 70, whatever it is, whatever your age.
You don't think, holy crap, you just threw that by me. Oh boy, start freaking out, right? You want to think, okay, I gotta get my hands going earlier. I gotta get my stride.
Yeah.
Gotta get things going earlier, and you gotta take a chance, right? You gotta take a risk. You gotta be willing to swing and miss. So that's what I tell all my players, especially when we were facing MASH, and we were facing that Texas A&M, a verbal commit, already a sophomore, hitting 90.
Which is unreal to me. I can't. It's kids are verbal committing as like a 8th grader, 15-year-old, 16-year-old,
14-year-olds,
and these 14-year-olds, and these kids or these coaches are banking on you being a stud player at the national level 4 years from there.
Yeah,
it's just nuts to me.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, it's insane. And so I told the players, like, you gotta take risk. You gotta swing the bat against this kid. Like if you're trying to see if it's a strike, right, then make it and then make contact with it. It's going to be a lot of foul balls, a lot of swings and misses because he throws too hard, right? He's going to get swings and misses. That's why college coaches want guys who throw 90 plus is because that's how you get swings and misses. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we had some strikeouts against him, but we hit him fairly well, especially the first inning.
Yeah.
He came in there obviously thinking that he's being able to overpower us with his fastball, and we jumped on his fastball right away. I think we lowered the bases, and we should have gotten a lot more runs that game.
Yeah, I think we chipped away and got like I was lucky enough to coach with you on that game, and it was I think we talked about to the boys about reiterate. It's like we got up on them early. Like you said, this not only was this kid pitching like specifically not used to getting hit off of him like he was or like we were able to, but also the whole team wasn't used to being in that situation, being down. And so you got a little bit of an underdog story. Like these kids, CA, complete athlete, we're new on the block, and we kind of took it to them those couple innings. They weren't sure what to do, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then I saw the pitcher change his approach to us. He started throwing a lot more breaking balls, and that curveball was nasty. And that's what caused a lot of swings and misses. And then
talk about a skills X factor, being able to change the timing and just get these kids off balance. As a sophomore in high school, that's an X factor.
Yeah,
and that's probably why he's going to Texas A&M.
Smart kid, right? Yeah. Obviously seeing like, okay, I'm not going to overpower these guys, even though I have an overpowering stuff. These guys just seem to be on it, and that's how I train a lot of my hitters to be is hit those top end guys. I throw them very hard, firm BP. And every day we work on that. That's pretty much a constant factor. Obviously working on their mechanics, but I throw them very firm BP, but not too firm, and I make sure I throw a lot of strikes, but I do throw some balls in there too to help with it because there's something to be said about training your eyes. And, that's
not just throwing lollipops in the same spot every time, right? Moving it around and changing speeds and.
I'm not changing speeds in BP. Sometimes I'll do that, but for the most part, I'll throw balls on accident just because of the velocity I'm throwing at. It's just going to happen. I'm going to miss, but I'm not going to miss by much, so I'm going to keep them competitive, right? So that explains why they had very good plate discipline up there as a team, this fall and over the past year or two playing for you as well, you being a 9th grade coach. And we've been working with those kids for 2 to 3 years now, and they've been taking my BP for that long, and I don't think that that's a coincidence, and the fact that they're all from the same high school too, which is insane, right? Facing up against these elite teams from all over players from all over the area. I remember I was talking to one of the teams. They have a kid there that flies in from Rapid City, South Dakota, to Shakopee, Minnesota, for games. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, that's happening all over the country with other organizations too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm very excited about club. I'm actually stoked about it. I think that that's only going to help us grow more and help out more kids to help achieve their goals. Mm-hmm. And I just love, one thing I've noticed is that these kids will surprise you.
Yeah, give them opportunities, and with the right mindset, they'll surprise you.
Yeah, and that's one kid really impressed me this fall was actually two.
There's a lot.
Okay. And if I don't mention your name, don't feel bad at all. It's just this is all the names just popping in my head right now. So so just keep that in mind. Definitely some great players I work with that I might not mention in this podcast, but I might mention.
There's gonna be a lot more podcasts.
Hopefully.
So you'll hopefully. What do you mean? We're doing it.
I'm gonna say no to more podcasts. That's what I'm gonna do.
Sounds good. I guess this is your only episode, Sam.
It is. It has to be. It's only one.
Exclusive content. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't.
Agent. Who's your agent? Right here. Just kidding. There's no agent. Taylor Price is not his agent. He's our producer.
Producer/agent. Why don't you study law?
Well, on to the next one.
But a couple kids really impressed me. Ethan Jacobs and Carter Wolter. Especially Ethan. My goodness, he has turned into a really good player. Right in front of our eyes, and that's.
Well, this is a kid who talked about quitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he didn't play for. Yeah, he was hanging out though. He's my first base coach here and there. So like for him being off that long. Oh, he trained with us January through March, and then he was injured, and so then he did play summer ball. He did play summer ball. Full spring season.
Yeah.
It's tough. Anyone taking time off.
Well, he hit 429 for us. Yeah.
Against some really good pitching.
And that's the thing too, is like he didn't walk much, right? And Carter Wolter was another one. He hit about 429 as well.
Yeah, they were both tied, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wolter, he we got him. When you were coaching him in 9th grade, right, he took a lot of walks, right? He was getting on base a lot, but his average wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right, so he was still taking.
Our team OBP was insane, but lots of walks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which,
when you got Esbo, you got Stout, especially Stout. He's just a grinder at bat guy.
Get those singles, get some walks, get on base.
Oh, he's a prime leadoff guy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, his at bat he put together against that A&M commit for MASH. His first at bat, he started off 0-2, battled back and drew
How many
a
pitches
walk.
were in that at bat?
Probably about 10.
I love that. There was an at bat. There was an at bat last night in the World Series. I forget who it was. It was a 10-pitch at bat, a rookie for the Phillies, or no, I forget which team. But anyways, a rookie. Anytime you can get a pitcher to go 10 pitches, and he walks you, it doesn't necessarily demoralize every single pitcher, but it changes the momentum of the game, which is probably why that inning was as good as it was.
Yeah.
All right.
So why become a professional trainer?
Yep.
Because it was about the only one available.
Stop. Okay. This was like 2 years ago.
Just kidding.
No. Let's actually go back to the story of like how it happened. Like,
yeah.
How did I? No, because I was still working as a financial advisor in Hopkins.
You were miserable doing that.
Whatever. No, I actually enjoyed parts of it. I enjoyed like sitting down with clients. Didn't like the other parts. Like
it's a desk job. Yeah.
Paperwork.
Yeah.
Sitting in a desk like Zach Dykes was just talking about. You got to move. Got to move around, right? Anyways, how did we reconnect again? Like what?
You wanted to get a beer at a brewery or something like that, yeah.
Oh, and we were talking about finances a little bit too.
Yeah, you wanted me to do it. You wanted me to get on board with you for financial advising.
Yeah. So we were talking about that, catching up.
You know, when the market was still good, yeah.
Well, the market goes through its ebbs and flows, man. You'll learn that over time.
Yeah.
You know, it goes through its sequences. But anyways, when we were talking, like, you were just, I don't know, working your job wherever you were at, and we were talking about finances, but then just catching up. And then I think I just started volunteering that summer for like
13 AA
yeah,
team.
through Easy's parents. They're like Ethan Jacobs' parents. Like, they were like, hey, these guys need some help coaching. Like, some parents who were helping coach a 13 AA team for Spring Lake Park.
Yeah.
And so I was showing up at practices. Obviously, I know pitching and like fielding stuff and things to do from that realm and preparation, like, you know, dynamics and warm ups and all that. But then I'm looking at these kids' swings, and I'm like, Krick was a good hitter. I'm going to hit up that guy. And then, like, did I just hit you up, like, to come to a practice someday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Want to catch up for a drink sometime?
Yeah. So
No, actually, he hit me up to coach after we had those Burrs and Hopkins.
Yeah. And then you came to a practice, and we were like long tossing beforehand, and
Yeah, our arms were sore after that. Long
Getting
tossing
the
like a
arm back
couple of idiots.
couple of idiots, and you know, the parents are like, what are these guys doing? And we're just helping out with the team. Like, just I'm running the pitchers through pitching drills. And
Well, none of those parents have seen arm strength like what you and I just showed them. They were like, what is this?
We'll teach your kid how to do this. No, but seriously, we were just like implementing what we wanted the kids to do. Like, you were just zeroing in like on how to do hitting training. And then in the middle of the season, I think we were working with Espelt, and we were working with like just a few kids. And then after the season, like, a lot of the kids wanted to train with us, either do like one-on-ones or buddy training.
And that's where it was born.
That's where it was born. Yes, sir.
You've been at this for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Through that experience, like, what have you learned the most about like how to best teach players, like train them? Like, what's your philosophy, or what do you think you've gotten the best results from? Like,
Well,
how you teach them, I guess.
What I've learned the most is that you keep on learning as you train.
Yeah, you don't just stay stagnant.
No. There's
Yeah.
always new, better stuff, new ways to improve.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing. I can't even count how many times I just went home from a training session just thinking, oh, I should have worked on with this kid. Why am I so stupid? Why didn't I do it? And then, you know, pretty much lesson after lesson, you know, you learning from that and applying that into your lessons, so you can stop criticizing yourself in a ruthless manner at the end of it. And
Goodness, it sounds like you're at bats when you were a youth.
I know. Yeah.
Cricky's going home from hitting lessons like, what the heck was I doing that day?
I know. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm very competitive when it comes to that.
Like, what drives you? Like, what drives that competitive nature to help these kids?
Probably has a lot to do with South Dakota State. Has a lot to do with, you know, not living up to my expectations that I should have lived up to when I went there, you know. And
so what do you want to do to reconcile that, I guess?
get kids better
Okay. I like that.
at all costs, and make sure that.
And how do you get kids better, like, in general? Like, is it just the skill part, or is it other things?
You talking about baseball getting better, or yeah,
Just in general.
Skill work. Just taking a look at every single individual hitter and being able to understand what they do well at, what they don't do well at, and kind of, you know, work your way from there. So you have one kid who is, he doesn't do a good job of getting off his back foot, you know, or staying in his back leg through his swing. And you got another kid who's good at doing that, but his hands kind of, you know, his hands cast a little bit. They don't really J route to the ball. You know, that's where direct path T drill comes in. That's where, you know, staying on the back leg, you can get them, you know, use the band, right, and hold them back. The band drill, that's exactly what
I was just doing the band. You know what Tucker just, like, at practice the other night, he's like, hey, Gabe, do we have one of those bands? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, he needs to be using that every day.
Yeah. So he had me holding him back, right? And he was like hitting the ball more crisper and not like pulling off of it or, like popping it up, but just line drives, right? It was obviously just during tee work, but like that drill in general, I think has helped a lot of our hitters.
Well, right. On top of that too, it also helps you get you a longer look at the baseball too, that's something that I have never even realized. This is exactly what I mean. Like the biggest thing I've learned is you learn new things, right? And that's what I've learned is that your swing goes where your head goes, right? So if you're on your front leg, and what you're looking for is making sure that head's lined up with the back hip, back knee through contact point through the baseball. When your head's over your front knee, right, it's about 2.5 feet, probably difference, I want to say.
Yeah.
And 2.5, 3 feet in the game of baseball is huge. It is huge. So being able to see the ball longer, it's going to help a lot. And it also helps you to create more of a trampoline effect.
What's that?
Well, when you stay back, right, versus being on your front leg, when you throw a baseball off the, would you rather, if you're throwing ground balls yourself off a wall, right, would you rather throw it against a harder surface like surface behind you, or would you rather throw it against, let's say like a Teflon surface like the Metrodome used to have? Obviously, you want the harder surface. That's exactly what we mean about the trampoline effect. It's when you stay back longer, you keep your weight there. When you're on your front leg, you lose that, and you lose that pop. So the ball doesn't jump off.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Is that like partially the bat whip thing or not really?
No.
Oh, okay, man. See, this is why I'm not the hitting guy.
Yeah, and you can say stuff about pitching too. I remember when I used to try to give pitching tips, and you just smacked me across the head and said, Krick, shut up.
I did not smack him.
Oh, it was for effect.
Oh, it was like figuratively I did.
Yeah, figuratively.
Like I was like, Krick, get out of here.
But you did say, shut up, Krick.
To be clear, complete athlete, we do not physically or verbally abuse any coaches or athletes. I swear.
There are no coaches.
I second that.
like
We're not
that
trying to.
doesn't
No
say.
legal matters here. There's no. It's all. Yeah.
No coaches or athletes are harmed in this training session.
In the making of this
Disclaimer.
episode.
We have to put that. We have to put a banner.
We're
up
putting
now,
it in
Drake.
our waivers now.
Experience may vary, though.
Waivers.
Yeah.
Experience. No, it will not.
Oh, when I got pieced up in the face by that line drive, yeah, experience may vary.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, who was that? Like you were throwing BP. Someone just.
No, I wasn't. I was actually staying too close to the cage. The kid was hitting about 85, 90 off the tee, and TK was throwing him BP, and he absolutely hit a P-rod up the middle.
Who hit that?
Oh, is that one kid he's working with?
Oh, Richard.
Richard.
And
he hits the crap out of the ball. That hurt.
I remember that. That was bad. I had to have Zach give you a concussion test. That was last winter, yeah.
And then every time I'd come in and do like my pitching stuff, I always saw you wearing a helmet. If you were anywhere near a cage now, you were wearing a helmet or something like that.
Oh yeah. I've got hit in the head so many times. It's incredible.
Yeah. Sam Knight was worried about that the other night. He's like, yeah, I might put a helmet on, man. He's like, I'm good. I'm like, we know your injury history. Funny.
Yeah, he's got a lot of concussions too. And that's, yeah, I am, if I had the choice for sure at the Grand Slam facility, yeah, definitely don't want to have Cole Glenna hit in the cages, in the back cages. That's,
did you use that the other night?
oh no, I was in the big one. We changed cages.
I mentioned that a few hours. I was thinking.
Yeah,
I was telling you,
know.
we know he's not hitting in the back cages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Cole can pee on some balls, that's for sure.
Yeah, I didn't want that to happen. Next point. What are your goals with Complete Athlete, and what would you say your overall purpose is, like just as a, trainer or human being or like in general? I know, tough questions. I was trying to keep these to a minimal, but I had to ask it.
I know you like to ask so much like canned questions. I was just like, oh no.
What are your goals with Complete Athlete, dude?
Well, I would have to say, just getting kids better, obviously. And, I'm not just going to stop there, get them to be, max them out, right? See how good they truly can be, and see how far they can go. To see that, it's amazing. Milo, prime example, is exactly why I do what I do. it's awesome to see. He was about 77, 78. When he first started working with us, he was like, mid to high 70s, throwing across the infield. He was around like a 7.2, 7.3, 60, pretty good. That's not bad for a sophomore in high school going into his junior year over the summer. And, that's not bad. But he started working with me, started working with Zach, started working with you, throw harder, Zach, be faster, get stronger. For me, how to use his body in his swing. And we saw a huge jump from 77, 78. Now he's sitting, with wood, he's about 85, 86. Metal, he's about 80, 88, 87, 89 range. Plus a 6'7", 60, 6'6" to 6'7". And he's also about mid-80s across the diamond too. And just to see those numbers, and I know that he's gonna get better and better and better every single day. He's also a shortstop on top of that. He's a fantastic fielder. Could see makings of a 5-tool player here coming up very soon. And to see him getting those Division I schools interested in him, contacting him, recruiting him is awesome to see. It's awesome. And I can't wait to be at his side through that process and give him advice and trying to help him out as much as I can. And, I'm going to be very excited to come to his college games too, as I will definitely do that.
That'll be a treat to watch that. I mean, you're watching it unfold, like his work ethic combined with, your advice, Zach's advice, kind of putting together a tailored, individualized plan for him. It's like really paying dividends.
Yeah.
I see it every single time he comes in. So it's crazy. It's good to see.
He's getting jacked too. He's really committing himself to the weight room. So that's good to see.
Yup.
As long as he's not doing bicep curls or benching way too much, I'm cool with it.
Absolutely. Don't want to tear a pec.
I mean, you can use bands, though, right?
You can use the bands. Actually, you can get pretty big biceps by just doing bands, resistance wise.
And you gotta have strong biceps. You gotta have some strength in your biceps if you're gonna be playing baseball too. So but no 40-pound curls. That's just like
no point.
No, or like trying to max out over 300 pounds on the bench press. Like that's no. Right. So but
we talk about you like kind of mentoring these younger athletes. Who do you look up to? And why do you look up to them?
I would say I don't really look up to anybody. I mean, as terrible as that sounds, it's really like I just try to be me.
You are the only Sam Krick. That is true.
Yeah. People always ask me, like, do I have a childhood hero? I was like, no.
No, I don't.
I mean, maybe Batman when I was 5.
Hey, that's a hero, man.
Right.
Like, all of his good qualities, for sure, saving Gotham City.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about using tools to be a better person, or be a better athlete in this case, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, you do have a hero, and you didn't even know it.
But, yeah, I mean, as far as kind of, I would say someone I admire the most, as far as professional athletes go, I think that every athlete should adopt is probably the mentality that Tom Brady has. That ferocious, fired and never stop, never quit. Be like, you have to take me off a stretcher before I retire mentality. That's going to carry athletes a long ways. Right?
Not just in sports, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That has to do with life. Something I learned too, working in my day job in sales.
Yeah, what do you do?
Oh yeah, work
other than being a trainer.
Right. Yeah. So I sit at a desk most of the day, work from home, and kind of just get pissed off about the pigeons on my deck.
Where do you work and what do you do?
I work for a tech company, Insight, currently work as a business development rep for them.
Okay. And how long you been there?
We're almost 3 years, 2.3 years now, so I'm coming up with my third year.
Yeah, didn't you start like right before the pandemic or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a COVID hire. COVID layoff, COVID hire.
Yeah. But we were busy that summer. I mean, getting Complete Athlete up and going.
Oh yeah.
Dude, remember the facility, Fridley? John came in there a few times. Man, I can't.
The shop.
I did some one-on-ones with some kids before in the shop before we were.
The shop. Jeremy made the sign, and I still have it. I think in my storage. We're gonna have to like put that up in the dome here this winter. Just like Complete Athlete at the shop, just the big banner. Just have to do it.
We have to. It's throwback. It's our roots.
Our beginnings. I'd be doing a pitching session in that tiny little slit.
I'm surprised you didn't get more concussions when you were throwing BP in that little thing.
Oh yeah.
I was the only one who got a probable concussion from Tucker's sister.
Oh yeah, she can hit the crap out.
When the ball went through the cage and hit me. Yeah, so that was. That
I
was
know.
fun.
I remember that.
You were just in the little 25-foot cage doing front toss, and then I'm in the side.
Well, that's where Mr. KU went through. He went Evan Shaw.
Yeah, he came in 4 days a week, 5
that
days a
little
week,
shop.
sometimes getting his work in.
To that little shop.
We're gonna we'll talk about that during his podcast because I wonder what the heck he was thinking when he first came in to see us. He's like, these guys must really like believe in me because I don't know, or I believe in them because this is a rinky-dink operation, and I'm like, we're doing drive line in here, man. We got some turf. Like exactly. I mean, he just we'll talk about that later. But we it's crazy. Like the kids were in there. Like there's tools all around. We got the cages. We got the turf. We got the mounds. They're like, they love coming in there. We'd get the music going, and they're just like alternating between hitting and pitching, and
That was
actually
fun. Pretty fun actually back then. Yeah, we actually did see a lot of improvements too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was doing group toss in the back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We had the full team stuff. It was raining or something.
Yeah, it was raining one night, and we opened up the back garage. Did we get a mound out there, or were we just doing flat grounds? But we set up the plate, got a catcher there, and then that was funny. We'll have to put a picture of that in the show notes or something, or some other podcast that we do.
I think the National Sports Center is a little more fitting for what we need to do.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. But you start somewhere. You kind of
Right.
grow from there. It's like grass. You just gotta let it grow.
Mm-hmm.
That was the worst comment. I'll just say that.
Well, you know what?
That's kind of a dad comment.
That was dad. Yeah, I do have a dog, so I'm a dog dad.
Dog dad.
Yeah.
I would say that
Did I tell you what we were doing, the little promo event, the trunk or treat event, and
I saw that on Instagram.
and our theme was the Sandlot. So
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's
Sam
right,
was
yeah,
Sam
you
was
told
Wendy
me.
Peppercorn. I was Squints. I got the jerk. No, and I had the glasses
Yeah.
with the white tape and everything.
Real talk, is it Wendy Peppercorn or Peppercorn?
Oh, crap. I mean,
if it's not Peppercorn, my life has changed.
I think it is peppercorn. I think I just said peppercorn because it sounds better. It's like a popcorn. I don't know.
Popcorn, and it was Halloween, candy corn.
Yeah. But anyways, Ruby was the beast.
Was she?
Yeah, Ruby was a scary beast. That was the comment everybody was saying.
Yeah. Freaking Ruby.
Like, oh, is this the beast? Yeah, it's a very ferocious 15-pound Cavapoo, but yeah, it's the beast. It's Samson's niece.
No, this is the baby monster.
Pretty much. They were scared. The
Yeah.
kids were really scared. Actually, the little kids were still like, do I come close?
That's funny.
Yeah. But it was at Essentials of Life, a chiropractic, one of our partners. And there was like 24 small businesses there, like KTIS was there, and like a bunch of other just companies around the area. But there was about 1,000 kids that came through. We had to go to Walmart and pick up more candy because we were running out.
For those kids, that's a heck of a pregame to Halloween.
I know, you get the candy on a trunk or treat, and then you go Monday night. It's like, what?
Were you guys those people, this kind of sidetrack, on Halloween, did you guys have a little pumpkin plastic thing, or did you go to the...
Pillowcase, and I only saw like 2 pillowcases a day. I'm like, nostalgia.
Pillowcase or die. Pillowcase or die.
You can't get enough candy in one of those little plastic...
No, I was like worried about these 5-year-old kids who had the plastic thing. I'm like, dude, you need to, come on. Step your numbers up. Did you go trick or treating or no?
I still do.
Shut up. No, you don't. No.
It's a lot easier, when you're driving a car around, you can fit more bags in there.
Goodness, we know that's not the truth, but
I stopped trick or treat when I was about, I don't even remember.
I hated dressing up. I don't know why. I should have just been a baseball player.
Hey, do you guys have Monday practice?
We do.
Maybe you should have the boys come in as costumes for practice. Just...
Oh my, I don't know. We're supposed to have games next week.
Oh, now I remember. I quit trick or treating when my parents told me that Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny don't exist.
What?
But trick or treating doesn't have anything to do with the Easter Bunny or Santa.
I know. I was going through some tough times then.
Goodness.
This is when he was thinking, like, why am I an idiot? Why did I strike out? This was that
He was just so focused on baseball, he could not go trick or treating with friends. He's like, guys, you're too old.
Yes.
Yes. Anyways, let's move back to the podcast. Little prelude there, interlude. Are you an introvert or extrovert?
I've always wanted to know this.
I feel like you're both.
Yeah.
Which we've already talked with a few of the other guys. And
Extroverted introvert, I'd say.
I won't say it's like a label or anything. I'm just me, you know?
Cricky's like, I'm just a simple guy. I don't. I guess the only influential person I look up to is Batman. But
He's got cool stuff.
I'm just Cricky. I'm me. Which you are a special human being, so.
Both the good and the bad ways.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was getting at. How would you say your personality works well working with your players, like training-wise and coaching?
I'm very results-oriented.
Yes, you are.
And
I think the kids know, like, when they're about to have a session with you, they're like, all right, like, we're ready to get to work.
Yeah. Try to get a workmanship out of them, and that was, working with the younger kids for me, it's fine. But like, I'm not a very warm, mushy gushy, let's have fun kind of guy. Like I understand that, hey, I need to get you better, because if I don't get you better, you're not coming back to see me. So there it is, right? So that's why it's like, okay, let's get you better, because that's the most important thing. And then I can talk to them on the phone and stuff like that, talk about like the mental side. They just need reps and stuff, and that's the most important thing in running them through the drills.
Creating those game-like scenarios, all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's, not really game-like scenarios. Sometimes,
I feel like you're training more, your reps are, like, you don't just want to have bad reps. Like,
no.
Some people are just like, do reps. And it's like, no, we want to have good reps, and we want those reps to, like, have some meaning behind them. That's what I meant by that.
Right, and that's so right now, as we're in October, going through about February now, I'll be mainly focusing on exit velo, especially for kids who aren't playing winter ball or anything like that. Pretty much focus on exit velo above everything else.
For your older kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
The kids who I work with, and
you mainly are kind of transitioning to like private training. That's mainly what you're doing with Complete Athlete, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one. I typically work with the older kids.
Why is that?
High schoolers, because of my mentality, right?
Yeah, results oriented.
Typically, high school kids, they respond better to get it done because they just want to get better.
Yeah.
Right. They're past the stage of having fun with their buddies. Now it's like, I want to play baseball collegiately. I think that's so cool. It's like, okay, cool. I want to get better. You get with somebody who gets you better, and then you stick with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's it's a lot of fun just to see them getting better, and me surprising myself.
We know that happens on a daily.
Oh yeah.
I feel like when we're having conversations in the middle of the day, like we'll be talking, and then you're like, "Oh, this happened. Like we made this happen in a session," and then I'm like, "That's you, Cricky. You're making kids better."
I'm shocked that I'm still doing this, and I'm still shocked that.
What? Okay, when I first asked you, where did you think like Complete Athlete was gonna go when like we first started doing the training? We were like, "Oh yeah, we'll do this winter." Like.
I kind of had a feeling it was going to get to this point. Probably about. Yeah, I thought we'd get to this point.
Where do you see us in 5 years?
Bigger, a lot bigger. At this rate, dude, like our coaches we have on staff, yourself, and you shouldn't be doing pitching coaching. You should be focusing on growing the business.
Which I am. Let's make that clear.
I know, yeah. Because you got freaking John over here, John the Don, who can
the Don. I was just thinking about this. We all need to have like nicknames. I mean, you got Cricky. I hear John the Don until today.
John Carlson. Call you Carly.
Holy crap! I don't know if he likes that.
Oh no! Like I don't know why, or like I had a bunch of nicknames in high school, but I don't know why iCarly stuck. Maybe it's because of
really.
They're like, "What's up, iCarly?" I'm like, "Why?"
Sweet.
wild.
I don't know why you let that bag out.
Well, dude, I was JC for MVP.
Oh, JC for MVP.
JC for MVP.
I don't know if we'll keep that
iCarly.
going because you're like, you're turning into something new. Like you're moving past that JC.
I'm
for
out of my
MVP
cocoon.
stage.
I'm out of the JC for MVP. JC for MVP cocoon. We gotta.
We're so proud of you. You're a nice little butterfly.
I'm a butterfly now. I gotta get a new nickname.
Carly.
Carly? Nah, man.
You can't.
I'm gonna start calling you Carly because I'm not Carly.
Goodness. Krick has to make up his own rules. I think you figured that out.
Always making rules at all times.
So we're gonna be bigger in 5 years, is what you're saying.
It looks like that way, yeah.
And how are we gonna do that?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with Zach Dykes getting into all sports.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a huge driver. If we
Yeah.
can get into just what he provides, just the explosiveness part, and him being a genius at doing what he does, it's going to help us get into track. Soccer, we already seen it with Edina, and basketball is another one. Pretty much all sports.
Yeah. The
So-
sports performance side of it for sure.
So-
Definitely working with all athletes, getting them to their next level.
And just seeing the club teams that demand kids want to work with us and want to play for us now for club.
Yeah.
And that's awesome to see. We added that 14U team, right? Or is that 13U?
We're having 12U, 13U, and 14U teams in the
Yeah.
spring. We're having 15, 16U, 17U in the summer, and then we'll probably have some younger age teams next fall because, fall ball. There's kids that want to play competitively and play better competition and have a good team-like atmosphere around them, but also have coaches that they train with, which we've trained those younger age kids groups, but we haven't put together teams. Just the other night, we had some parents asking us about forming teams for 9, 10U. I think we'll only do like 11U and up, but, yeah, big things to come.
I mean, MASH starts them at 9. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I know. They've been around for 10 years.
I
2
know.
years in. 2-year anniversary is September 9th officially. So yeah.
One thing I love about MASH, though, is that they're classy.
Yeah.
They got a lot of class there, actually. At least the team that we faced, their players on their team.
Yeah, they got a good mission as well. And they're down in the South Metro. There's plenty of room to grow up here in the North Metro.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and that's another thing too. Is up here in North Metro, is I was impressed with how much class the Iceman team has too, and that was a lot of they beat us pretty bad that game, and they weren't a lot of other teams kind of rubbing it in our faces, like they were pretty chill about it.
Yeah, for sure. There's lots of good organizations out there. I definitely feel like we have something special here with just the personalities we have on staff, which is great to have you, Krick. Few last rapid questions. What's your favorite food?
Ooh, I was not expecting that.
I know. I like to keep you on your toes.
See, my food selection are like shifts.
Yeah, you seem like a shifty type of guy.
It's like different one year to the next. Like
What is it now?
nachos.
Dude, whenever we go out, you're always getting those nachos.
I know, I love nachos right now.
Clives, like after
Clives.
after training sessions, after team meetings, after practices. Hey guys, Clives, Brian's
Clives.
over there, and he's got my nachos.
Nachos, and then also
Brian Engblom, shout out.
You and I last fall.
Clives, bartender.
Clives.
Brian Engblom.
He takes care
Future
of us.
sponsor, Complete Athlete. Support us, Brian.
Support us, Brian. But he used to be a big baseball player too for Totino. So
We should have
That's
him
all
on
he
the
knows.
podcast and ask him what it's like to be a successful bartender, what makes him so great.
he kicks butt, man.
He's actually really good, yeah.
Remember shortstop? We used to go to shortstop.
That's right.
You used to get
Oh,
the
yeah, I
nachos.
remember that.
Was after last fall, everyone would go away, and me and Krick would be like, "Yeah, let's go shortstop."
Or where was that place in Apple Valley?
Oh, Crooked Pint.
Yeah, that's a good
Crooked
one,
Pint.
too.
We went back there last year, or this year and last year.
That's where we saw
'cause-
Maddie.
Yeah, that's how we got the marketing connection. So just we're LinkedIn and IRL. We're just
Everybody
getting
knows
connections.
us.
We're just getting connections everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And it's crazy the people that you meet. Like even when we're just like say we're at shortstop and we're talking to either the server, the bartender, the parents, and talking about what we do, like just getting our name out there. Simply
They
by the
see
word of
that
mouth.
logo, they're like, "What is that?"
Yeah, what is that?
I want to know what that is.
Haven't seen that one before.
Haven't seen that one.
Did you guys just run a marathon? Is that what it is?
That guy looks like he's running fast. We're like, we teach kids how to run
If
fast.
anybody saw me out in public and asked if I just ran a marathon, I'd be questioning. Their
judgment.
Their judgment. I'd be questioning.
No, you just say I like to have a steak and a beer after I run my rear end off after I puke.
Yeah, right.
Okay, then.
I don't know how marathon runners do that.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Talk about a different mentality, Krick wise.
for sure.
That's a Krick mentality. Just run 26.2 and then have a steak dinner afterwards.
Yeah, work hard, play hard, baby.
Yeah. We're about to get started here with John Carlson. Apparently, he thinks this podcast is his.
Well, you guys told me to be color commentator.
Yes, the color commentator.
I'll be core commentating in a little bit, but
Man.
it's just fun to like kind of like tap in a little bit and just add into it.
Tap into what's going on with Kricky.
I love tapping in on Krick, dude. It's a lot of fun just getting your brain going. Just
seeing the whistles turn.
Yeah.
The Greek gears grind. Yeah.
One thing that I love the most about, another thing that I love most about what I do is also seeing the trainers get better and them coming up with new ideas and drills and things like that and taking this very seriously and, and seeing their growth as well, because like the players, the trainers do also get better at doing what they do every day. We see it with Sam Knight, impress the heck out of us. So it's like this whole thing. We're always getting better,
Growing.
mm-hmm.
Getting better.
Because at the end of the day, right? If you don't have the mentality of, it's good enough doesn't exist.
Yeah. No, we don't have that mentality around here.
And you can have that mentality and be successful, but it's not ideal.
You're not going to get there sooner. It's probably going to take you a lot longer, and you might go through a bunch of different hoops to get there in that grand scheme of things. I think we're trying to, and you can kind of echo this, but we're trying to create an atmosphere where every single player, no matter what level you're at, we want you to get to that next level. You're going to choose how you're going to get there. We're going to guide you, but every single player is at a different point. We've been talking about the higher level players getting them to that, collegiate scholarship, but then we have those lower level players or just younger in general where they're just trying to make a traveling team and they're trying to, become more confident in themselves. And we help them with that skill work to become more confident and ultimately get them there. And we have a whole team to help them get there. So I think that's really what we're meant to do and meant to be here to do.
And even so, like your lower level kids of today could end up being your higher level kids of tomorrow.
That's why development is huge, and we harp on that, like with our club teams and with our group training programs and our private training programs. You don't know where a 10-year-old kid who isn't making a traveling AAA team where he's going to be when he's 15. A lot of those kids who are playing at a high level when they're younger, they might stop working, and that kid's still working. And he's developing, and he's getting better, and his mental game's getting better. And then he ends up being, a kid who's, a varsity starter at 10th grade or wherever it may be. It doesn't matter.
Well, just look at Coogee and Braden.
Yeah, those kids, they impress the heck out of me.
Kujawa. He's a man.
Coogee.
And
You're going to get a lot of shout-outs, Coogee, especially if Cricky's on here.
You too, Braden. You as well. You've turned into a great hitter. Both of you guys have, so... I know Brady struggled this past fall a little bit, but keep your head up, keep working. You still had good at-bats. You still had a high OBP. You're fine. And, with Coogee, he needs to get more of his Zach Dykes for sure and get faster what both of them do. I think now is time. And that brings me to my next point, is that there comes a point where you've done so much for a kid that you start to need to work on other stuff to even out his game.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody likes to work on what they're good at, right?
Exactly. I hated chemistry.
Did ya?
Huh?
What about this chemistry?
This chemistry? Depends on the day.
I'm kidding, man.
Like chemistry, like physics. Actually, I wasn't smart enough to even get to a physics class, so there's that. But
But it's so crazy because you talk physics when it comes to like hitting with me.
I know.
You remember when you were trying to teach me a hitting drill and you're like 10 degrees this way and this way, like you're going to see this result if it's like that. And I'm like, who are you?
Well, it's because you just gotta see it, you know.
You're more an artiste. That's what we figured out.
I'm a lot. Yeah, I think it's probably why I'm better at teaching it than I ever was at playing it. It's because I was just too thinking all the time, and when you're playing, you just have to go
do.
Yeah,
just do. So, where can listeners find you online? I know you're not really big into the online presence, but I think you should be. I
should be.
I think you could like be putting some content out that you know a lot of your hitters would be like, oh, like that drill, okay, that's Cricky's drill of the week or something like that. Like I feel like you kind of have a.
I'm not really a lazy guy, but social media is definitely an area where I'm lazy.
I mean, it depends on like the reason why you're doing it. If it's just to like make yourself feel better or whatnot, then don't do it. Like have a reason why you're doing it.
Right.
If you don't have a reason why, then don't do it.
Right. Well, you can find me on Instagram at hittingguy2829.
Hitting guy 2829.
I believe that's my Instagram.
We'll put it in the show notes. We'll confirm that.
Okay. Some hitting guy and some numbers after that. That's all I know.
Did you make that up?
I did. Yeah.
Well, where's the 2829? Like where'd that come from?
That was, I don't know if that's my actual number that's on there, but I always think like Adrian Peterson, Chester Taylor.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, I like it. Skull Vikes, let's get a win
And
tomorrow.
they're 5-1, baby.
Let's get another win tomorrow.
Let's go.
Heck yeah. Sweet. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast. We're going to definitely have you on again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe as a co-host. We'll see. See if you make the cut.
See if I make the cut?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I do, and you'll see plenty of more of me, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Okay. Thanks for coming on, Krick.
Yep. My pleasure.